Bonjour, good morning. Welcome to another exciting episode of Just Siri. If you've missed any episode this week, thank God for the weekend binge. Watch all our episodes, my darling. Today, we are bringing you the hottest topics of the week and serving up the spiciest conversations in Pueblo, in town. Hello?
We are
Baby
not going
girl.
to pretend like today is not your birthday.
Oh,
Catherine.
God. Can you?
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, my God.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Oh, my
birthday, happy
God.
birthday, happy birthday to you. Cheers to Catherine. Long life, prosperity. That's why you're looking amazing. Well, you look amazing every day,
Hooray.
but
Yes, absolutely. It's our birthday.
Yes.
I'm
You guys
so-
went and did that.
Lola
Yes,
is
of
more
course.
excited about this birthday than the birthday girl herself.
Honestly, I cannot lie because Catherine has been my friend for years and she would hardly ever celebrate her birthday.
Yeah, I
She would even
know.
do everything in her power to make you forget.
I know,
She
I
would
mean,
not even post on that day.
She's been my friend for months.
Anyway, this is we're celebrating, so absolutely it is appropriate for you to grab your popcorn, get a drink because you're in for a very wild and bumpy ride. Yes, we've had such a great week filled with very insightful conversations, but yesterday was a highlight for me. We had a certified sex therapist, Dr. Tolu Oko Igare, who educated us on a term called sexual surrogate, someone who is trained to typically engage clients in intimate physical relations based on their therapeutic goals. Honestly, I'd like to ask you ladies, what's your honest opinion on sex surrogate? Blessings, I know a lot. She took in a lot. She ran away from the show into the rain.
I could not get. What? You guys,
needed to
honestly,
cool
I
off.
ran into the rain because I couldn't get over it. I mean, that's the first time I was hearing that.
Me too.
I found it very weird. Like, so there is a therapist whose job is to have sex with you.
To lead you to your final destination.
But not physically, I don't think she
It's
talks to you.
physical. Like they have
physical.
sex with you. It's surrogacy. So you have sex with therapists, and they guide you through it as you're having sex. Close your
That's for Buki, my producer.
And
He said-
I think it's more weird that couples actually go there.
But you know, these days there's so many things that are clinical. I don't know how it will work because,
Want to try?
but if it's a paid stuff that is legal,
I knew you were going there.
if it's paid
yes,
and it's legal
yes.
and it's not ungodly,
Yes.
it's a side hustle.
And
But honestly, if it does help-
It's true because people are always looking for side hustles. Side hustles don't always have to be entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
You can look for what you're good at. And yeah, you can look for what you're good at. I'm serious. You know, as you grow older, you know, you now take a back seat. You have the onus is on you. You have the power to actually sit back and decide with full chest what it is you want to do. And if that is a side hustle, and you know that you are naturally
Good at it.
gifted in that,
I honestly
Sexual
so
surrogacy.
yesterday I was
Why
trying to wrap my head around like what did that person, I mean, those therapists, like, what would they think about that would make them say, oh, I think when I grow up, I want to be a surrogate therapist?
you know, this thing you said, there was a time where we used to say, when saying things like, when I grow up, I want to be a DJ,
Yeah.
will cause you backhand, back and forth in the house. So now it has become an accepted thing. So a time, listen, it's closer than we all think. These things that we find, oh my God, it's impossible. It's impossible to believe. It is closer than we think. In fact, it's knocking on our
Honestly,
doors.
I find it, even yesterday, I wouldn't even lie. There's so many terms I've never heard before that I had to go like look up, you know, but so many people have many issues that they need to work on physically. And what I have seen that's close to that is a therapist that teaches people how to have intercourse behind a veil.
Yeah.
So you would watch the figures behind a veil, like silhouette, and they would practice. They would bring it to your house,
Yeah, so I think I've heard that
and you
before.
would
but
watch.
Even the
truth is-
guest could, like, during the break, she told me that she could see the confusion on my face.
Honestly. Blessings was like this.
Lola literally said, "Blessings, ask question now. Ask question."
I'm like, girl.
It was like you were tongue-tied.
But honestly,
Why?
education is so good.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you look at us presenters, we're laughing about it, but you can see that it was an education point for us.
Yeah.
That means there's nothing wrong with learning new things.
Yeah.
Even if you do not know. A lot of people just fear what they do not know
Yeah.
or have understanding of, and that's what we do a lot in Africa. So if you know that there are some things that are confusing to you, please
Reach out.
read about it. Learn, watch videos so that you can at least enlighten yourself a little.
Yeah.
Even if you don't take it literally.
Yeah.
But you can learn about it, at least have head knowledge.
Yeah, because these things, no one actually teaches you.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you.
If this wasn't daytime radio, there's so many extreme things we could have gone to.
Yep.
Because
I think that one thing I like about Jessery is the fact that we learn as we share. So we're sharing with the people, but we're also learning. And we're not hiding the fact that we're learning because
we're
like,
learning.
a lot of times you see our expression.
If you want to do a compilation of all our expressions, oh my God, we'll be on the floor.
I'll be worse.
I don't know if you remember that video of us that trended, and I just collected scribbles. Someone was like, look at that, I just looking confused.
like,
Because I'm always looking confused. I'm like, what's
wow.
Does
Are you
this actually
kidding?
exist? Yeah, because it does exist. And we keep talking about evolution here on Jessery. We say everything is evolving. Education, health, tech, finance, everything is evolving. No matter travel, tourism, everything is evolving.
Okay, so I want to try something, ladies. Speaking of learning new things, what's one thing that you just learned this year? I'll go first. I did not know that ladies that wear wedding rings actually wear like different wedding bands, like the engagement and wedding band. Oh, I had no idea.
Really?
I did not know. Like I was
But
always
do you go
wondering-
for weddings?
Yeah?
You go for weddings?
Yes, but I've never been a
did
bride.
that,
So what do you
Yeah.
think engagement happens at engagement and what happens at
So
the wedding?
I thought that when you get engaged, right? Maybe you wear it, then on the wedding day they remove that one and put a bigger one. I had no idea that you couple it together and it makes a whole big wedding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's understandable that you would think that because
Oh my
engagement is such a thing.
But there are rings that are actually merged. I've seen wedding bands that is merged to the engagement ring.
Yes, so that's the
So
thing.
it comes in like a bulk,
A-
like
a
2 rings
pack.
in one.
So if you're-
but they're fused.
Yes.
So then if you're doing an engagement ceremony, what do you then use? Another ring?
I actually think that maybe you wear another ring. You know, there are so many rings. I've heard of commitment ring.
and
Like
promise
when-
ring.
promise
I also
ring,
learned that
friendship
this
ring.
year.
I've had friendship rings. So I could give Catherine birthday ring.
Oh.
Yeah.
But is
But I won't.
So I was having a conversation about promise ring. Is that not misleading though? So you're giving the person a ring. You're not engaging the person, but you're not marrying the person yet. So the person is just wearing a promise ring on
Okay,
the
so-
ring finger.
Yeah, so that's a thing, really. So the question would be then, what are you promising the person? The promise ring is for what? What's the context
I promise to
behind-
engage you.
Then that means it just wants everybody to know that you're spoken for silently.
No, you promise me till when? When
But that's the thing,
There
there's
has to
no-
be a time
It
frame.
depends.
Because now we are in a season of evolution.
Yeah.
So if you're giving someone a promise ring, be specific.
No, me, I want a promise ring. Because
But really though, is there anything that you've learned this year that you didn't know before?
honestly, there are so many things I have learned this year.
Like surrogate therapy.
Yeah. And I actually walked into someone on Instagram. I told the woman, she actually does like a training, like like a gym where people actually, ladies, no, let me not say people, ladies that have very slow pelvic movement can actually learn how to do better in their bedrooms. So they come with their pillow and they simulate movements of intercourse, and she trains them like a gym instructor.
God, I beg you.
God, I beg you.
Kat, is there anything from your end?
Well, now that we're on the topic of the guest we had yesterday, I learned that, there's a growing community of swinging. Yeah. So, yeah.
What now?
Swingers
of
in
swing- of
Nigeria
swingers.
and Lagos.
What's that? Was I in this class?
This class is
You
not
asked me
something
what
you
I
should
learned
learn.
this year, and I just shared.
Okay, thank you for the the information. Anyways, we will go on a very short break, and guess what? Today we are our own special guests on the show. Please, a round speechless.
I almost did some dance to it, like, it's Catherine's birthday. Ooh,
If you're not singing, you're dancing. And speaking of learning new things, at least the audience has learned that it's Catherine's birthday today. So happy birthday once again. Anyway, stay with us. When we come back, Jasiri continues.
I won't leave this down, will I?
They had to catch me waving my hands. All right, if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. You are on Jasiri, and we're just about to introduce our very special guest on the show. I mean, to my left, I have a very erudite journalist of international repute, a multilingual one for that matter. Please welcome on the show, Catherine Obiara.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. And of course, to my right, we have a very well-read, well-researched journalist. She's a Gen Z ambassador and, of course, a multi-award-winning presenter. Please help me make welcome the very beautiful, delectable songstress herself, Blessings.
You don't mean it. Did you mean that? Did you mean that?
Please, can you say that?
This is the first time ever, and it's not even my birthday. Wow,
Wait and see
guys.
what's going to happen on your birthday.
I'm amazed. Okay, so are you introducing yourself? Because only you can.
Of course, you all know me. I'm everywhere. Welcome, the most beautiful, softest.
Okay.
I almost said,
Looking like a candy bar.
The Barbie girl.
The delectable Lolo, everybody. All right, can we continue now?
Yeah.
honestly, I can't wait to get into our topic because the topics
Please,
today
they're
are
hot.
hot.
So let me take you through into our first hot topic for today. An ex-user shared a story of how a man's wife had been deceiving him about her salary, pretending to earn 70,000 naira while earning, listen to this, 500,000 naira. She used the extra money to buy land, build a house, and even bought a car for her brother to use for Uber without telling her husband. Now, when the husband discovered this through her brother's messages, he felt betrayed and confronted her. She tried to deny it, but he had gathered evidence from her messages and receipts. He felt hurt that she was building her own assets while relying on his income, and their relationship has been severely damaged as a result. Oh
So it's quite a long read, but that's basically the summary of it.
He's just going on X. He's just going.
So he says that aside earning 500 and lying that she earned 70,
70K.
she went as far as at some point when the second child came in, she asked the man that she needed a car. And they had financial, issues at the time. So he was reluctant, but then she now told him that she could borrow money from one of her friends. And then he can add to it, which I won't say she did, but she brought the money and then he added money to it and she bought a car. So all of these things was like, he felt really betrayed because you didn't just lie to me about your salary. You went on deceiving me and relying on my own money. And then she went ahead, she was building, she got a land, she was building a house and she got a car for her brother. When I saw that part that she got a car for her brother, I was like, so you asked your husband for a car, but you bought a car for your brother for Uber and then they shared the proceeds. And when he found out, she didn't even exactly try to say, she was just like, who told you that? Why would my brother tell you that? She became very defensive. I don't know, man, it's a whole lot.
All right, so I don't know if we can take you guys through.
To start.
Before she enters spiritual, it's spiritual.
This is not spiritual. No, it has nothing to do with spiritual. I wanted to see if we could take you guys through the tweets so you understand where he's coming from. The guy he was just going. So if we start the tweet from the beginning, when my wife disclosed her salary as 70K back in 2023, I never questioned it. Naively, her modest earnings prompted me to shoulder the bulk of her household expenses, unaware of the intricate web of deceit that had entangled our marriage. With the arrival of our second child, discussions about acquiring a car surfaced despite my reservations due to financial constraints. She offered to get a loan from a friend to contribute to the purchase. I agreed, took that money from her, topped it up to get a car. Her Facebook account was hacked. She told me to help retrieve her account. I was trying to retrieve it on the phone when an email notification dropped with the subject March payslip. I opened it and was shocked to find her salary listed as 500,000 naira. Feelings of betrayal, disappointment consumed me. How much she earned didn't bother me as much as what she was using that money for. I decided to refrain from immediate confrontation and instead opted for discreet investigation. I began examining her interactions with her closest confidants. Although I found little of significance, delved into conversations with her elder brother. I discovered my wife had purchased land, started construction on a building project. Her brother lost his job, was idle, so my wife bought him a car to use for Uber. Every week, her brother rendered an account and they split the money. It became evident my wife was financially stable, yet pretended to be financially strained, relying on my income. Next morning, she noticed my visibly distressed state. Though boiling with emotion internally, I waited for an opportunity to start the convo. After some semblance of calm settled over me, I asked her, "Why would you do that to me?" She asked, "What have I done?" I answered, "You bought land, started building on it, and you never told me." Her shock was noticeable as she inquired, "Who told you about that?" I said, "Your brother." I watched her fall silent, grappling with the revelation. She asked, "Why would my brother tell you all that? What were you people talking about?" I said, "I don't know. You can ask him." Attempting to discern the truth, she approached me later with her phone, indicating her brother wished to speak with me. He practically yelled, "You claimed I mentioned my sister owned a building. When and where did I say that?" I asked, "Isn't it true you're overseeing a construction project for my wife?" He questioned, "Did I inform you about that?" I responded, "Is it true or not?" After this argument, I told him I went through your messages last night. I saw the photos, reviewed the different budgets you sent to my wife, checked the receipts, confirmed the money transferred to you. As a man, would you be happy if your wife does this to you? Now I can understand where this man is coming from. First thing that came to my mind was that maybe brother did something to annoy the woman, or how women are. We just like swallow things and bottle things up. But would he? I don't know how long they've been married, but whatever it is he did to her, he must have hurt her. Maybe did he cheat on her? I don't know. But would that be enough for a woman to go this late? It's simple, madam. If you don't want to do it again, just tell him you're not doing it again.
As far as I'm concerned, I was so traumatized. I felt this man's pain.
Yes.
I don't care if anybody says, "Oh, Lolo, you support men." But there are some things that we cross lines that are just beyond the boundary. Then what is marriage in itself? Then let's just scrap this idea of marriage and let people just cohabit and live by their own individual rules. But if it is the rules of marriage, there's something called trust as a foundation of every marriage. It's a different thing if the man had done something untoward that she now knows that, this man is not to be trusted. I need to keep myself away from him. But you misrepresented yourself in that marriage and you relied so heavily on him. And in these times that we're in, I think it would be wicked of any woman to expect a man to shoulder 100% responsibility. That means you want your husband to wane and die on time. I mean 100%. Except maybe his finances is at a level that is beyond average. But if any average couple right now, they need the support of each other to be able to stabilize. It's not only the marriage a man contributes to.
So.
You forget he has immediate family too. He has nuclear family. He has some other commitments. He might be in school. He might be doing masters. He might be trying to save to buy a house.
For you
and
guys.
you, from 70 to 500.
And so I feel like a lot of women, I know that a lot of times we preach this, women have your own money, be self-reliant, at least to some extent. But I feel like women now take it a tad bit too far. Because if you are trying to be, let's say, self-dependent, you have your own money, at least, if anything happens. So that's understandable, which is, again, it contradicts the idea of marriage because you're supposed to trust each other. Yes, there's the part of my money is my money and all that, but let him know that at least you have something by the side or your salary is so and so, but you're not willing to share, right? But then what I have issue with is you're not willing to share your money, but then you deceive this man into shouldering the responsibility for you and the children without any support from you whatsoever. So in his mind, you're earning 70K. And I'm sure that there's nothing that you are, contributing to the house because he probably, let's even pity her and just let her hold the 70K that she says that she's earning. And then you go ahead and you're doing all of these projects, yourself and your brother, forgetting that you have left that family. You still have that family, right? But you're building your own family. And then you're doing all of that. And like Lolo said, this man probably doesn't even have a land because now he's trying to juggle the whole thing, trying to take care of
two
he can't take care of his family, his
No.
parents. He can't do anything for them, and then he just finds out. So my own issue is, if you want to do all of that, do it by yourself, but do not make him shoulder the responsibility as well. Because I was thinking, okay, 500K, we might think it's a lot of money, but to be honest, if you take out all the things that you're doing, building with 500K, I now realize that she's not doing any other thing with the money.
Yeah.
She's not taking care of the
She's
children.
not doing
taking care of
anything.
her husband is taking care of her. So she has enough money to do all of that. It's just wickedness.
You know, when
Jim,
I
I
saw
can hear this,
when I
it's pure
saw some of the
wickedness.
reactions under, I'm beginning to think that we women sometimes we need to calm down.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are just talking from their personal experiences and traumas.
Yeah.
I am not saying these goes overboard for every situation.
Yeah.
But I like to look at every situation individually,
Yeah.
because women go on that day and like, don't disclose your money to your husband, don't do this, don't do that. Every time we do all these extreme measures, then just tell any woman, don't marry.
Exactly.
Cohabit and be living by your rules.
How do you balance?
How do you balance?
share responsibility
There is no
in
marriage.
a marriage?
This is too this guy, do you know, if I was him, I cannot lie. I don't know how I can come back from this.
Yeah.
When she
I am
even
just
said,
going to exit
when
the
she
marriage.
said that, you know, they were, when he said that they were able to find a way to live together, I'm like, what? How are you finding a way?
Yeah, for me, you're postponing the inevitable. This is the one that a person like my mother or our mothers would say, when they tell her now, you're not here. They told him this is the kind of person. Maybe they told him he shouldn't marry her. He didn't hear, because sometimes what elders see sitting down, you cannot see standing up, standing on a chair, standing on story building, you cannot even see it. But that aside, I'm saying that, like Lola says, there needs to be a line drawn. If you say you're in partnership with someone, you are marrying someone, and you're working together, I don't have a problem with you building your assets or whatever.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, I want to surprise my husband. But I can bet you that the assets you're building are not in that man's name. They're not in both of your names.
Of course.
They're in your name and your children's name. So for me, that's entirely selfish.
So I'm not going to lie, right? There are certain clauses, right? Let's say you're married, and then okay, look at the example of the man who used all their savings to...
That's what I say. It doesn't appeal to everyone.
So there is a possibility that you can have a certain amount of money
That
on
you
your
set
own
aside.
just in case.
Yes.
And even that just in case is because there's distrust that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And, you know, that kind of situation now, you have to be, I don't know how to say, if it has to be that something prompted you. Let's say your husband doesn't know how to be frugal.
Yes.
And so in the meantime,
Yes.
you keep your salary away, but not even 70 to 500. The margin is too much.
And she's not even contributing.
That's the
it's
thing.
a different thing if for me.
It's
if she was
say,
doing her
daylight
work,
I'll take care of
robbery.
myself.
this
You
is
get it?
just being wicked. She's taking her
Daylight
conjugal
robbery.
rights from the man. She's taking her monetary rights. She's being cared for. And she's just letting the man do it. He doesn't even look at his
Honestly.
distress.
So he didn't even reveal how much he's earning, but it will be more wicked if she's actually earning more than him.
And then he's sacrificing.
But you know
everything on
that,
the
me,
table.
I'm beginning to tell women that I know that now we're more empowered, we're more enlightened. But the same pill that we want other people to swallow, can you swallow it?
take it?
So as long as you can swallow it, women keep saying that, oh, we want to be equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Then in this regard, then you are not meeting your own. I do not want to be in a relationship where I'm not contributing.
No.
Because if I'm contributing, I have equal right to say something. Gone are those eras when women were seen as part of the furniture.
Yes.
Where you just come to the home with nothing. A lot of our mothers did that to our fathers, and that's why they were kept where they are.
Yeah.
But now, that is not the reality of a lot of women. So if you're asking your husband to step up, then you yourself, you should step up. You can't go to a restaurant and ask me that, oh, you want to order some salmon. I eat salmon when I go out.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, if the person that took me to lunch can't pay, I can pay
for my
confidently
salmon.
for my meal.
Yeah.
I would not take anything that, because somebody is paying, that's why I'm eating it. No. But this next story is another one.
I love it.
I had to swallow saliva.
Calm down.
Let me drink from my cup. In our next story, anyway,
You were saying
I
this
was
next
saying,
story. Yes,
because
I'm
before,
interested in that.
You know, Hot Topics had to interrupt me. I'm that big. Just wanted to show herself. In our next story, Nigerian singer Kizz Daniel sparked controversy after revealing his top 3 bad habits during a Twitter question and answer session with fans. The habits he mentions were drinking to the point of inhibition, smoking cigarettes, and adultery. The last one is the one that sparked the most outrage, especially given his marital status. The post was deleted, but the backlash continued, with his fans expressing shock and disappointment, questioning his actions and respect for his marriage.
See, do you see the story, hey? I always ask people, and it's something I can ask. Who doesn't have bad habits?
Nobody.
He without sin cast the first stone. If you're confident to share your bad habits with the world, we don't know anybody's bad habits. We are sitting here, we don't know maybe Blessing's bad habits are the ones that will knock us out of.
She feel the whack
My sister.
with cane for head. She can't.
And we will not know.
We'll
Until you
never know.
open your mouth and share it, then that's it. My own is, I'm very interested why everybody's reacting to the top 3, to the third on the top 3.
Adultery.
Yeah.
How about drinking to stupor?
Yeah.
So I would have
smoking.
said a big thank you to Kizz Daniels for at least revealing this, but it's a little too late because now he's married supposedly, right? And she has to live with that. But I want to believe that she already knew. So I wish that I won't lie, right? When I saw that, I cringed. I reacted because. Yes, there's the part of he that is without sin cast the first stone, but you publicly or openly admitting it, it's just you saying that there's nothing you want to do about it. You don't want a solution, that's who you are.
When
right?
I tell you that I'm pro-polygamy, everybody bites me. As far as I'm concerned, just take as many wives as you can. And then let everybody be sister wives with equal responsibility and whatever sharing formula. Because if you remain a side chick, the enjoyment is too much. Come and become his wife.
Yeah, I told you about
then
something.
They will give us both allowances, small allowances.
Let's sit side by side and discuss our children.
How much did Kizz give you last week?
Yeah.
Hey, it's 100,000.
Oh, you call it
he gave me 100,000. It's not enough.
Toby
but
said.
you know,
And I told
side
him
chick will be like, please, can you lock my door?
Yes.
I asked you for $1 million.
And
it's like someone like Blessings. You just whip her hair.
And
the
then
number just write
side chick will call you by the name.
No, let all of us come into the arena.
But you know,
let's be
come into the arena. Come into the campus.
I wish that
come into the campus.
That's how life was. Like everybody can just say their bad habits so that if you will not marry, you will just move ahead.
But at least
know the one that you can live with.
Guys, seriously, my own is because listen, this is a fellow Taurian.
A fellow what?
Taurian. He's born in May.
May.
Oh my God! This again.
Yeah. So that's an aside.
That's our horoscope queen.
So, let's say, for example, I shared today that I just learned about this year. When you asked me, I learned about
swinger families.
We had the sexologist yesterday, and I always tell people the dynamics differ in every relationship or every marriage. What works in marriage A may not necessarily work in marriage B. Maybe there's some dynamics. Blessing said something that maybe, she wants to assume that, his wife was aware or is aware of this. Maybe, it's something that they're both aware of. But like I said, we are a very reserved people. Too much truth or too much information, sometimes we cannot, sometimes we cannot swallow it all. Maybe for Toby and his wife, for Kizz and his wife, maybe they've come to that understanding that this is what has happened or is happening, and they're okay with it.
And let me tell you, another thing is that Nigerians love controversy.
Yeah.
When you go for an interview, sometimes you've thought in your head with your publicist that, what can we say?
Exactly.
To shock the world.
I was going to say that. He was
and they hit us on the head with the hammer. Boom.
He probably
we start skitting about.
Honestly,
and he's just at home
probably
watching
just woke up this morning.
his album, Boga. Bugao.
So he probably just woke up this morning and told his wife, I want to post something that will get people talking.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, go
I'll
ahead.
go.
And then all of us are like, oh, why did you say that? Please. Does your wife know about this?
Yeah.
Let's be calming down.
Yeah, help the calming down. At least he told his own publicly.
That's it.
Because I see a lot of people
cannot fool
that
us.
do things that are really mind-blowing. It's just that there's so many things I don't speak about because I don't talk about what I do not know and I have evidence for, that I have receipts for this.
Yeah.
There's so many strange things happening that it might be based on speculation. And truth sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people I've seen that are imbibed in some habits? I'm like,
You're like,
I went out over the weekend and a friend of mine I've respected so much, with a lot of respect, with icing on cake. He brought out a bad habit. I'm like,
Lola said, brought out about.
and
Where did he brought it out from?
I had
Oh
to
my
do
God.
like this. Because we were in a jolly mode and I didn't want my shock
To show.
to dampen the
ambience. That
Ambience.
But ladies, don't you think that, I mean, I think we've had this conversation before, but that culture, or would I say that we've thrown away shame.
So we become
We
shameless.
wrapped it like this. So
Blessing.
So,
Gen Z is asking
honestly-
us, the generation that was born without it.
I've always said, like, I'm supposed to, I think that I should be appointed the middle.
Oh,
like,
nah, she will not start claiming that.
Do you understand?
I can't do it between the genders.
Meanwhile, if we asked her what's
Honestly,
her bad habit,
I quite agree with you.
No,
But there were
honestly.
many things that I understand that the doctrine of shame seems to have been thrown away. But now I even think that is the fact that everything is revealed that makes us think that we used to have shame. Because I have seen stories in the past that some of our fathers have done, that I have heard a story of a man that would bring his girlfriend to their one bedroom and sleep on the same bed with his wife and his side chick inside that one bedroom.
Yes, but Lolo, so try and equate that time to. So let's equate social media now to, let's say, town hall meetings.
That's what I'm
You will not come to a
saying.
town hall meeting and say, I have a problem with adultery. Even if you do it, and some people know you do it, like you would not just come out and say, oh, I'm sleeping with a married man. But now we see people just
Say it.
because of, like, they just tweet it and go
It's
about
so
their daily
scary.
life.
what did I tell you about evolution?
The evolution, honestly,
Amazing.
this doctrine of shame, I totally agree with you that we're living in shame, we're living in shameless times. Times where some things are no longer kept out. And that's because our undergarment that used to be under the garment are now
now
worn
outside
over
the
the garment. So that's no longer natural. And then
honestly,
we should
How
expect a
many
lot of
people
that.
wear baskets? Let's be.
My sister,
Understand.
I still went to the
I
market
have
during
never
the
worn it
weekend.
in my life.
Bam. So you see,
You are
insofar as
missing.
there's so
I will buy you one. It's a rite of passage before you marry. Underskirt is a must.
He said, "Most there's black, there's cream,
black,
and there's
there's
white."
cream and white.
Oh God!
My mom had like silk. She had black.
It's silk
It's
usually.
Understand?
Yes, and it does a good job because
Of what?
no, don't you wear shimmies? It's not like it's an upgrade of now that women wear bra tops and maybe a boxer kind of shorts.
Maybe we should just say
shimmy.
that you were not advanced enough to know what is comfortable. Because why
there
would you be
you
wearing
go.
skirt under your dress?
I would not
When you wear a
answering the
see-through dress, what you gonna do?
question
What you
today
gonna
of
wear
shimmies.
under it? A see-through dress.
What do you wear under?
They're what,
biker
chemises?
shorts. They're tights that you can
So you wear Iran Bubai with biker shorts?
Well, I don't wear Rambuba, so... Anyways.
I left this chat, group
So
chat.
we're going to go to the next story now, right? This week, I did stumble on a story. A 28-year-old pregnant woman shared how a couple and clinic allegedly deceived her into becoming a surrogate. Yes, you heard that right, deceived. Now, she was promised a conducive apartment, 2 million naira, and monthly allowances, but the couple abandoned her in the hospital and failed to fulfill their promises after the embryo transfer, and she was confirmed pregnant of twins. Despite her pleas, they cut off communication and had refused to involve a lawyer from the onset. This is where I'll fault the lady. Now, she's scared and unsure if she'll receive payment or be safe from the intended parent. She's considering giving the babies up for adoption to a family who will genuinely care for them and for her.
I want to ask, was she implanted with their embryo?
Yeah,
Because
well, yeah.
I need to know the couple called, maybe the story wasn't I want to know, because when you say somebody is a surrogate, that means she was implanted with an embryo.
Yes, after the embryo transfer, she said it. She was confirmed
and she
pregnant.
didn't sign any papers.
She didn't.
Please, let's leave this group chat.
Honestly,
because-
when I was reading that and I saw that part, I'm like, nah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
You don't dull
I
yourself.
already know that it's something hanky-panky.
Yeah.
It's something done behind closed doors. It's something done illegally. So if it was a proper hospital that are licensed to do these things, it's impossible for you not to sign papers. Not even for her. It's more important to them.
Yes.
Because they are the ones that want the child.
And
not even their surrogate.
And they didn't even take the child. Like, there's just something
But I
off.
watched an
There's
Indian
something
film.
left.
I have even watched an
Or maybe
Indian
they didn't
film.
want two. And then when they found out that it was
two.
two, it was like, I beg.
No, but even
What's
then,
that,
so I
abeg?
beg, you will now abandon the
Abandon
original
them.
one you wanted with it because now there are two.
But I've
And then
actually watched
secondly-
one Indian film like that
yeah.
they did make a, she did surrogate for them. But while she was pregnant, they did a test and they felt that the baby was going to have Down syndrome. And this couple left India and went back to America.
Oh, wow.
You know, she went through and you know in America, in India.
Did she sign papers, though?
Oh, she did, but they just absconded.
Oh, la la.
They absconded. It wasn't, you know, they were not Indians, they were Americans. So they absconded. Of course, she went on to live a life and she was looking for them. Of course, she couldn't find them and the hospital couldn't find them. You know, then they were still tricky about surrogacy, even at those times. That is more, the onus is more on you than on them. That's why you see some of these people come to other countries to get surrogates because of all the laws that are not so stringent, they can bypass. And of course, she did take care of the child. Fortunately for her, the boy she gave birth to didn't have Down syndrome. So it was like a mix-up in
But was she financially
Of course, she was
capable?
struggling. And of course, one day she now went back to her dancing career. And that's when they saw the child in the video. And the couple came back.
They are something's wrong with the
Did I
couple.
tell you?
No, but at the end of the day,
It's a movie, Sha. It's a movie.
No,
I would have said that, okay, we're going to take reactions very quickly. I would have said that even if you did not sign papers, which is a very silly mistake to have made.
it's not a mistake, it's
My
fundamental.
Sister, exactly. My sister, you
fundamental.
would have charged a lot and collected
Collect
part
it up
payments.
front.
Collect down pay. Even if you don't collect everything, at least collect in case you want to move mad and abandon me. You cannot Anyways, we have reactions to this story, so let's take the reactions and see what people think. This one says, I'm struggling with my intended reply to this, but if I was in your position, I'll make sure it's a lose-lose situation for us all. How?
That means she will abort a 6-month-old pregnancy.
It's not lose for them.
That's not lose for her.
It's not lose for them.
It's not lose for them. Even it can compromise her own life.
Exactly.
Always involve the law when making important decisions like this in order to prevent stories that touch. I'm sorry this is happening to you.
Okay.
What if they were not a real couple and they were operating a secret baby factory using this method? What if it's actually the clinic that is behind it? Get a lawyer and get a doctor arrested.
Oh, but this is another angle, though. It could be that maybe they will now persuade her to leave the babies. They will, handle the adoption and all that.
Of course, if she knows the hospital where they did implantation, maybe she can actually get the loan.
So interestingly, we just found out that the doctor in the hospital is actually related to the couple.
So it has become a family.
This thing is,
my sister.
there's something.
I know, but if she does know the hospital that the implantation was done, at least she can go to the police and at least they can investigate something.
I think for her, what is really challenging for her in this very moment is the fact that she didn't have
cared for.
Yeah, she didn't have legal representation because the first thing you'll be asked is, Madam, I don't understand. You didn't sign paper.
And she said they refused.
And
Like,
they
this is
Which
your
one is they
life.
refuse that you went ahead?
Exactly.
For them
But there
to
are
go
so many
refuse,
other
it means that there's
things.
something fishy.
Yes, there's something fishy
That
there.
alone should have just made
That told you that. Won't you sign?
And so the doctor, seeing as is related, they would have just persuaded her, don't worry, it's not, you don't have to sign any papers or anything. You're in good hands.
In good hands.
I know.
In this 21st century, even if you don't know for yourself, can't you ask questions? Because if they did approach
Maybe
you,
it's that 2 million that was.
2 million.
Finding
Even
a-
why would you collect 2 million for surrogacy?
You know,
So a lot of these people,
That's so
right,
cheap.
they look for people that need the money.
The money.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what happened to that Indian
Yeah.
girl. So she was really poor.
They look for
I'm
people that
asking
need the
if
money.
this were my sister or if this was somebody.
We're not even be we're not be my
understand?
sister.
Because I'm asking myself, what would I do? What would I? We're older now, so we have. Sense.
Except if she didn't tell her family. That's another thing. Because desperation can make you do things.
This girl left home to have the baby quietly.
Exactly. So it's possible she didn't tell her friends. Because I'm sure that somebody would have insisted that she signs the paper, no matter how much you need that money.
And bring somebody along. I mean, you don't know where they live.
That can know how to twerk on IG should know how to ask questions. Because the internet is rife with unsolicited advice. She can see things even if you don't know everything. Even in the villages now, I'm seeing people doing TikTok in a remote village.
My sister.
Village.
Village.
They're getting a lot of views.
And they're getting a lot of views.
Yes.
So that means for me, you have enough pull to get sense from.
Yes.
So how can somebody ask you to have a baby for them? You went to a hospital. You know, sometimes even to do surrogacy, it's not just about the implantation. You might have to take hormonal injections.
It's risky.
Before that time. So how did you do all that?
What are you talking
And you didn't get a kobo.
Let's move on.
Are you a philanthropist?
Let's move.
Okay, let's take it. Let's go.
Anyway, we're going for a quick break. By the time we return, we live in a very cruel world. To our viewers out there, be careful who you enter into an agreement or relationship with. Please, I beg you, seek legal counsel and know your rights. Anyway, stay tuned because more conversations are here on Jasiri. We'll be right back. Today is Auto. Bring fun.
Even surrogate therapists get paid.
See? Welcome back to Jasiri Friday Hot Topic Special with our 3 fantastic guests in the studio. Now remember, we're streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at New Central Television. That's at New Central TV. Please use the hashtag Jasiri. That way we'll know that you're part of the conversation and that you're watching.
All right, we have another story. This one, it appears that the government is after you. And Big Brother will now be watching your every move. There has been yet another ruling that has sparked conversation this particular week. Justice Nnamdi Dimgba of the Federal High Court in Lagos on Thursday upheld a new Central Bank of Nigeria regulation which requires financial institutions to demand and collect the social media handles of their customers as part of the standard Know Your Customer procedure. The court ruled that this does not infringe on privacy rights, equating it to providing email and phone numbers. The decision aims to enhance customer identification and prevent financial crimes. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen. Why you?
Your MC voice.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Honestly, so I understand the part of, you know, the KYC thingy and for transparency and all, but I just don't think anybody will be dumb enough, right, to put information that can be incriminating on their social media. Yes.
Haven't people videoed suicide on social media? Haven't people killed people on social media? Okay. So what are you saying?
Well, so...
All right, so if you're saying that, and I'm thinking, okay, they won't put that info out. In my mind, I'm thinking, how do you get to know your customer? Will you go into the person's DM? Or will you tag the person in the person's posts? How do you want to... Because during the break, Lola said something interesting, that people who borrow...
Money
collect loans.
Yes, from different banks.
Who collect loans from different banks and just disappear and run away. So how do you want to use...
Hey, but what are we all saying? Why are you guys arguing like this is strange to you? Didn't you know when you apply for visas?
Yeah.
Don't you know you put your social media handle now?
Okay, so what my thing is, I understand
they've included it.
Yeah, so I understand that
you put your social media
similar
handle.
to asking for your email and
or your address,
phone number. But
for a bank,
if I want to, I can easily argue that I'm not on Instagram or I'm not on. There are people who do not do social media.
Exactly.
And even if I do, I literally can have a pseudo account.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't want you to have every information about me, I put up a pseudo account where it's just maybe I'm putting.
Which one is pseudo account?
And
okay, so what's your hello, madam? Blessings, Musugo. Please, what's your social media handle? Okay. Sorry, this handle you posted last when?
I don't put you can't hassle me
now
for not
that
posting every
is
time.
No. This is me doing my due diligence.
Yeah, so I'm
please,
just
madam,
saying-
stay. Please, can
Do
you
you know
not-
as I am, I have like 2 studio accounts already.
Lolo,
it's
I told you there were things we did not know about.
No, is it true?
Whoa.
Wait, is it true? So if I want to be deceptive, right? If you ask me for I will just give you the one that seems unserious. I don't have to use my name because it's not you that opened it for
but
me.
you know that
can
one that
just
you even say
motivational quotes per day or your daily digest.
But
of
even then,
motivation.
do you know how many people change their handles or edit their...
But the thing
So, but
is-
that one is traceable.
It's
Because
so
for me, if I
traceable.
want to patronize any online business, I check. There's a place you can check about the account. You know how many times they've changed.
So pseudo
their account.
accounts are not traceable? Is that what you're saying? That if one...
You can't. Instagram allows you to have as many. I don't know what the limit is.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, I opened like 3 blogs because I wasn't sure what I want. Like an IG, I wasn't sure what I wanted to blog about, and I still have them. So you can't. It's not a criminal offense, right? I can have as many accounts and switch. They can literally tell you switch accounts, but you won't know which one is my account. I can be following you now with my studio account. You don't know it's me.
But the thing is, even when we're talking about customer privacy, there are some informations that are very key.
Yeah.
And you keep talking about evolution
Yeah.
and things are getting more.
Yes.
Now, even when you want to go to the banks, remember they used to ask for your, either your, and not even NI, your house, your
Yeah,
NEPA bill, your utility bills.
Yeah.
That's because they want to be sure
That
about that is where you live.
Yeah, so that's what you
are there.
focus
so
on.
social media is another means of identification.
I'm just
I know
saying
that
it doesn't
there are so
hold
many
water.
times that I traveled and they say, what do you do? I said, oh, I'm a media personality, I'm an actor and a journalist. And they're like, oh, really? They said, what's your social media handle?
So it has become
oh,
so
really?
you see,
Yeah, you're so
But you know
popular.
that I can, if I know your name, I literally can just Google. That is
And so if I know your
like I
name,
can Google you.
so why is it such a big deal
now-
for
So
you not to put it
I'm
down?
just saying that enforcing it
It
and
will
making it
prevent more financial
It will not
crimes.
prevent anything because if I knew your name, I literally can just Google and check. Omo
Yeah, but that
and I will
that's
find.
not
I will even find
not
your
the language
Instagram.
of this
Yeah,
times.
that's not the language of the times. The
Times.
language of the times is social media.
Social
So
media
what
is
is
like
social
your
media
address.
handle?
Do you know some people who even post on social media up to where they are at Kiniko place?
So I'm just saying it should not be
that one is
prioritized
true.
as a key means of fighting because it
They
doesn't
just
fight
want to
anything.
add it to
and
your
if you want
KYC.
to find my social media account, you can find anybody. It's not about being a nobody.
Listen, why
as
are you
long
so
as I'm on
like
Instagram.
Wow.
No,
let's know what your other job
you have
is because we are about to
Okay,
go.
where's my gavel? Where's the gavel? Where's the gavel?
You have to understand that it doesn't trace anything.
Oh, it does trace a lot.
No.
It traces your friends. Do you know they can from your
No,
social
but
media know who your friend network is?
Lolo, do you know that without asking me, you can find my Instagram, you can find my LinkedIn.
But if they're asking you to write it in a form, why is it so? Why are you going ballistic?
So why is it a law that it had to go to court and the court had to make it mandatory when
so
you can
that
easily
it will
find me on
become
social
legal.
media?
They will not think that you are doing it under the chair.
You can Google
We're just
me if you're
adding
not
more to
sure.
your
Yes,
KYC.
what Blessing said and what Lola said.
Catherine is just trying to leave.
Yes.
You can
She wants to
literally
go and
Google
celebrate.
me if you're unsure. If you Google me, you'll find Blessing
We're
was
going to
on
argue
LinkedIn.
this till
Blessing was
Kingdom
on
comes.
Instagram.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Tolu
stress
is not
my
here.
life.
So,
Pilar,
wait a minute.
So are you telling me that because I have friends who are not on social media?
And then,
I don't.
if
I'm
you're
no
not
longer
on social
Facebook,
media,
right?
you
There
are
people-
not on social media. But if you
and-
are,
okay. So if I'm
out.
not on social media,
Okay.
and is it mandatory that you ask me for it and I tell you I'm not on social media, and then you say, oh, you can't get
it's
what
just
you're
like telling
asking
you that
If
you
they
don't
now
have
find
NIA.
you if they now find that you're on social media,
Why didn't you find it before?
Wow. So
No,
you set us
I'm
to
just
look
saying,
for-
like, no, but there are actually
Anyway,
people
let
who
us
are-
go home.
Yes,
I have
really.
this. I have
When we're done,
enjoyment.
we'll continue
I'll
this
still
because
slap- I will make sure you are investigating.
As you're
take us
slapping me,
home.
I'll be telling you the truth.
Okay,
because
so let me take us
I will
home.
not stand
Sadly,
for this.
our time is up, guys. We have to go. A big thank you to you guys for tuning in and staying tuned to us today. We hope you enjoyed yourself. It's always a pleasure to bring Jasiri to you every
From the
Monday
birthday
to
girl.
We'll do this again
I will
next
miss you,
week.
Tolu.
Yes.
Tolu is back on Monday. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Oh, when you said Tolu is back, I was looking like, where?
No, Tolu is back on Monday. Bye.
Interesting.